A good Minecraft spawn gives you every advantage imaginable, where a bad one can give you, well, this, or even literally give you the death screen upon loading up the world. This is a real thing that can happen, and it's one of my big passions. I love decent Minecraft seeds, but I love to also collect the seeds that literally try to kill you, and so today I'll be reviewing these increasingly terrible spawns and letting you know how you can get these very worlds for yourself. All of the seeds will be linked down below, starting with this first one, which spawns you on an island literally this far above the ground. This gives you the immediate opportunity, if you want to try and chop down some trees, to die on the way, because this is a skyblock style seed but in regular Minecraft. It is a really weird seed to see, not just for the views, not just for the survival attitude, but also for the fact that people will download maps that work like this, you know, a sky island with a couple of trees on there, but you can play it by in default Minecraft, so it's actually sort of a good thing. And ultimately, even though it seems very scary, being surrounded by water means that even if you want to jump down, most players will be able to avoid it. And so ultimately, as fun as this is as a concept, as interesting of a seed this is, I'm actually going to give this a 0.1 out of 10 on the tries to kill you scale, because as nice a seed as this is, it's not a very murdery one. Also, apparently, you get some frogs by spawn, so that's kind of cool too, I guess. But for an even bigger mess, try this next seed where you spawn on a snowy slopes. Literally, you can jump and die if you really want to from a higher height, but also you have polar bears to watch out for, as well as a giant cave that you can just tell from the light levels is filled with monsters. This is made even worse by the fact that you can avoid both of those things and run off into the woods thinking, haha, I'm so clever, this seed isn't actually going to kill me. But because you are surrounded by so many snow biomes, you're going to inevitably make the mistake of jumping somewhere you shouldn't and ending up in some snowier snow. Then you end up trying to punch your way out and you end up deep in a hole you didn't know existed, and then before you know it, while trying to jump out, you've frozen to death. This is a very seriously scary seed in a lot of ways, but it does actually have some interesting benefits. One of these is the fact that if you want to have a mountainous spawn area, this is actually good for you, and that will lead you to very easy coal, that'll lead you to very easy iron, and even most interestingly, a lot of people who haven't played much since 1.18 might not know, but you can easily find yourself some emeralds here, so this is one of the fastest seeds for access to emeralds. And even better, if you haven't checked out the new caves, this cave right here you can go into, and if you avoid any of the mobs you'll find, you can see it immediately has access to one of the 3 new cave biomes, which is the lush cave. But then go a little bit further, and what will you find? The second of the 3 new cave biomes, the dripstone cave. And then if you just go to the right a tiny bit and make a couple leaps of faith. Okay, so this is leap of faith 1, you end up in this big pool of water. Then you take leap of faith 2 from the top here, and you end up in a deep dark biome. All 3 of the new caves right from spawn with no mining or anything else required whatsoever. That's pretty darn cool if you ask me. Although I'm sure if you ask this guy, he would not be telling you about the diamonds that are exposed, and instead would be letting you know that you're not alive anymore. So yeah, there's a couple of very dangerous things to immediately watch out for on this seed, but ultimately a smart player can run along the treetops or can try and run to the hills and can actually make this work for themselves. And so I'd say on the tries to kill you spectrum, there's a few ways it can murder you, from polar bears to wardens to snowier snow, but ultimately it's still only a 2 out of 10 on the how much does the seed want to kill you spectrum, something which is improved upon by our next candidate here. This next world spawn is probably not one you're used to, because you're probably picturing a biome right now, and that biome probably isn't 0, 52, 32 underneath a mesa somewhere. And this is a really tricky one because it spawns you directly underwater, which means if you don't pay attention quick enough, you have to raise to the surface before you can do anything else. An interesting fact about this though is that if you do die, you will always spawn right back here on the rock. Minecraft knows when you respawn, it shouldn't put you in water, but when you spawn for the very first time, it has no such logic, and so will spawn you right here, quite close to the bottom of a big hole in a river. By the way, even if you do get out of this, it's not particularly hospitable seed. You know, it's not a very nice seed for you because it's a big mesa with no trees, and then it's a big desert. You have to cross some serious distance to find yourself a tree and a desert temple and a village, so it's worth saying that all of that is obtainable, but the overall seed is a nice mesa spawn overall, I guess. But overall, I would say this just isn't worthwhile. The reason this seed sucks is because there's so many opportunities to drown with nothing to show for it, and so this gets a 0.5 out of 10 because you should know to immediately swim up, and even if you don't, it only kills you once. This next seed is a really cool one because you spawn in midair having already been hit by a pillager. How is that possible? It's possible because Minecraft actually spawned you into the world a few seconds or so before you are actually able to see it, meaning that when I spawned, I was immediately hit by a pillager, mostly owing to the fact that the pillager was already there. This is a really cool seed if you want immediate access to allies or you want to start a raid in a village. However, it does come with the very annoying issue of these pillagers. Pillagers have a much longer seek range than other mobs, meaning they'll be able to follow you for much longer than anything else, and although escaping them is possible, escaping them with any value in your life, or indeed any loot that they have, is next to the opposite. Okay, we got some stuff here, let's use it and let's get out of there. This is a real big challenge. Okay, I guess I died in midair. This is a real big challenge to even get out alive, because even if you do, there are your polar bears everywhere. Even if you do, it's a big climb out. This pillager outpost is in a big valley, and even if you do, what is the point of living in a world that is entirely covered in snow? The answer is I don't know, but honestly, this is a really cool challenge to embark upon if you don't mind a little risk of being dead so that you can get wool, which you can use for a bed. Do you see how that block started breaking even after I died there? This is an incredibly interesting seed, but it is technically escapable. It is definitely on the harder side of escapable, and so this is a 5 out of 10 on the trying to kill you spectrum. I do need to mention very briefly while I'm here, there is a seed that you can use to spawn in on a woodland mansion, which is actually a lot more escapable because despite being filled with pillagers, they don't have as many ranged attacks and you can run straight away from it. But still, spawning on a dangerous structure is one of the worst ways to start your day. Something which can of course get a lot worse because this is the world spawn. Oh dear God, I didn't realize you couldn't walk a block forwards. This is a world spawn which puts you right into a ravine. You might recall this as one of the places that I spent a whole week surviving in just after the wild update came out. It was a really fun time actually, but yeah, this is a really intriguing world spawn that will put you right into harm's way. I really cannot stress enough how insane and bonkers this whole thing is. There's lava right in front of you, and in exchange, you also have diamonds, redstone, and gold. So you get all the ores, and all you have to do is deal with the big guy that doesn't bore, and yeah, I think that's actually a pretty cool trade-off. You'll also have access to some pretty decent chests, so you can find some diamond leggings and enchanted apples. Wow, 2 of them. Honestly, maybe you don't need to worry about the warden when you've got all of this stuff going on, right? But yeah, you can have immediate access to food, enchanted apples, all this sort of stuff. It is a surprisingly fun time. And all you have to do is worry about this guy. Oh, it's totally fine. Look how great I'm doing. Yeah, you think you're a match for me? Well, I have all of this stuff. So, yeah, how about that? Oh, okay, how about that indeed? Okay, you can survive like 5 times as long, which is nice. But still, not very long at all. And also, when you spawn in, it summons another warden. What is this? What is he jumping on top of right now? How is he standing up? Wait, actually, can I just break the blocks below him? Will that work? Okay, let's try. We have to, right? We are obliged to do our best. Oh, maybe. Maybe. No, okay, he backed out the last second. That was a genius idea otherwise, and no one can tell me anything else. Speaking of not telling me anything else, come on! No, he's just too good at avoiding this. There we go, that block there. Yeah! Okay, so you can put the warden in lava. I mean, he'll still attack you, but at least he uses the slightly weaker ranged attack when he does that. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, I do have to say, this is a great spawn. Look, you get piles of wool, you get woods, and yeah, honestly, 10 out of 10 spawn. Oh, okay, if you just ignore the one pesky issue that it has. It's a fun death message, right? Oh, another one spawned because I spawned again. No, I can't do this again. It is worth mentioning, if you ever do get out of the ancient city, it is a very interesting time all the way around here too. And there's even a cherry grove biome waiting for you. Wow, 2 cherry grove biomes, and all you've got to do is deal with the warden at spawn. What? I think that's a fair trade-off, personally. I think that you should totally take advantage of this seed right now today. More seriously, this is a 7 out of 10 on the tries to kill you factor, but I do think that most players could get out of that if you were experienced and you knew what you were coming into. Without experience, without knowing what's happening, you're probably going to die to the warden. But with it, you might just be more than a little fine. Something which simply can't be said for this next world spawn, because as you can see, oh, I'm actually fine today. That's nice. As you can see, this is a world that spawns you directly, wow, the water starts pouring onto the lava too, directly next to a giant pit of lava at Y minus 52. Getting out from here is nigh on impossible. There isn't even an abandoned mine shaft to help you out like we've seen in previous seeds. Instead, all you have is a big cave, lava, and maybe the ability to punch your fist if you really try. This is one of those intense survival challenges that I assume you'd have to like climb up various waterfalls, take advantage of gravel, stuff like this. Look at this, it's slightly in the air. We could probably get a few blocks of it when it falls on itself. Okay, we got one block of gravel now, and we could take advantage of this and some water together maybe to get ourselves out of here. Okay, can we get over to that? No, we can't. Can we get over this lava? Actually, yes, we can. Just jump one more block, and there we go. This is an insanely wide cave to spawn into, and at some point you will die on your way up from all of the mobs you are fighting with none of the wood that you need to start your game, which is why I love this as a spawn. It is nuts, it is bonkers, and I do have to mention, just like the ancient city spawn, it was found by Cracked Magnet, who's very good at diving into the source code and finding out the weirdest things that Minecraft will spawn you in. Oh, look at that, by the way, there's actually an iron vein over here. Wow, so you could get a bunch of iron ore blocks if you wanted to. I mean, obviously you need a pickaxe first, and I don't have one of those. But still, you're doing really well for yourself if you can just get out of this, and I just don't know if that's ever possible. But this is the challenge if you choose to take it. I do have to say, out of all the seeds I've seen so far, this is the one that inspires me the most. I want to just sit here and play it some more and explore these caves. They're so ridiculously long, but I guess what we have to say for now is, okay, this is a really good seed. Will it kill you? Eventually, almost certainly. But, you know, technically it hasn't killed me yet, which is a pretty good sign for me. I'm enjoying the survival pursuit. I just don't know how I would take it any further, which is why I want to see, can I take this any further? Is there a way to survive this seed? I'm willing to find out. But yeah, for now, we can say this seed is a 8 out of 10 on the tries to kill you spectrum, and a 10 out of 10 on the cool spectrum. I've just invented that right now. Although, I guess I'm gonna have to die and move on to the next seed. Oh, we respawned up here a little closer to the surface. Is there any way to solve that? There might just be. Anyway, yeah, this is an incredibly cool seed. It's just endless caves on endless caves. It might be fun to play this as like a challenge if you can't go above Y0. See what you can achieve just in the depths of the cave itself. Might be a fun challenge. Might be a terrible idea. Who knows for sure? The only thing that comes close to those is this seed where you spawn in looking at water and then immediately realizing that you're going to die in lava. This is something that cannot easily be prevented except upon multiple respawns where you get way up here, and this was widely known as Minecraft's hardest seed. Nowadays, depending on the platform you spawn on, if you have a fast enough PC or indeed a fast enough console, you might just load in with enough time to actually save your life. But if you want to avoid your first death, this is a 10 out of 10 on the will it kill you scale, because there is no way to avoid it on slower phones or, heaven forbid, the Nintendo Switch. And this combined with the last seed, which Cracked Magnet does believe on some devices will spawn you in lava, is one that is just entirely unavoidable. When Minecraft spawns you in lava, it is a 10 out of 10 unbeatable, just like this classic Toy Cat clip. This is the one. Okay. Hello, I'm IBX Toy Cat, and
Toy Cat tried to swim in lava.
What? Did you hear that? Right now? Fastest death in Minecraft. Fastest death in Minecraft. We found another seed that kills you before you can... This one killed me during the loading screen. Anyway, this seed is a really fun one if you know what you're doing, because as you might have seen from my world's hardest seed video, I actually tried to beat Minecraft on this. There is a mine shaft down here, and you can just about survive if you choose to do things there, which I think is really fun, really great. And yeah, if you want to try and get yourself a ton of stuff. By the way, is this ravine repeating? It is, right? It's one of those repeating ravine seeds. What the heck is going on with this? I only just realized this is a really interesting seed in other ways. Whoa, yeah, what even caused this to happen? Is this one of those infinite repeating seeds that just happens to also kill you? Anyway, this is Seed Sunday. This has been a brief look at some of my favorite seeds that try to kill you, all the way from 0.1 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. I hope you found it interesting. Look! There's a cherry biome again. I absolutely love that. Anyway, if you want to see some more interesting seeds that are actually good for you, I'll leave a link to a couple of ones down below from the last few years that I think are particularly good, relating to spawns and other stuff like that. Yeah, look at this. It's repeating trees. So bizarre. What a cool coincidence. And yeah, I'll leave a link to a few of those down below because Minecraft has so many interesting seeds. And if you want to check them out, then that is a great thing that I recommend doing. Also, the That's Future Me's Problem shirts are now available at ibxtoycat.store. A lot of people have really loved the slogan and wanted it on a shirt. So I've got a really fun design. You can get it in a ton of colors. It will ship to most parts of the world, I believe. And yeah, it comes available with all of the other stuff, including available as a hoodie if you happen to live somewhere where you still need a hoodie, but it's July, so I'm pretty concerned about your well-being if that's the case. Speaking of your well-being, I hope that you're having a good Sunday, and indeed a weekend as a whole. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to play that cave spawn seed sometime. It's just too interesting for me to not try and survive. Anyway, yeah, see you next time. Bye.